What's up, divas? Welcome back to my channel. So today I am in a completely different location than I normally would be taping. I am in school and I just finished work. It's raining out. So I'm just kind of hanging out here until the rain stops so that I can get to my car. But I decided, hey, why not do a YouTube tag? So today's video is going to be a back to school YouTube tag. All right, so hopefully you like it. Before I even get into it, let me just introduce myself. My name is simply Carey. For those of you who are new to my channel, if you're new, I hope that you stick around and become a part of the Diva Nation by hitting that subscribe button. And for those of you who are returning, thank you so much for supporting my channel and welcome back. So let's just get into this YouTube tag. Okay, so let's see. The first question is first day of school jitters. Okay, so when this school year started, I did have jitters. When I first came back in, I had anxiety. I guess the unknown was one issue. What to expect this year, you know, the 2021-22 school year. What are we walking into? I guess that was the biggest thing, you know. I don't know. But it was a little nerve-wracking. What will I be teaching? Because my teaching assignments can sometimes change year after year. Not just what I teach, but also what grade level I teach. What books will we be using? Everything is so new this year, everything. So just dealing with change can be a little difficult. And maybe that kind of brought on a little bit of the anxiety that I felt. So I don't know. But anyhow, let's go on with number 2. Have you ever fallen asleep in class? Okay, so I'm not going to talk about me as a teacher, obviously. Have I ever fallen asleep in class as a student? No, never. One thing I always knew as a student, it's important to let the teacher know that you are paying attention. That way, if you aren't doing that hot in a class, they won't be too inclined to fail you. They will work with you. So I would never sleep. My friend used to sleep. She had these long bangs and she would sit behind me and she'd fall asleep behind her bangs. And I was always wide awake and paying attention, even though I might not know what on earth the teacher was talking about. Okay, so let's see. Number 3, share your most embarrassing moment in school. Okay, well, I have had a couple of embarrassing moments. I would say one of the most embarrassing moments was when I was in high school. I had this white and blue dress on. It was a really light colored blue, like a baby blue with white and white stripes and everything. And I was walking through the hall on my way to the locker room for PE. And I walked by my then ex-boyfriend. He was standing there with his friends. And I walked by him and I act like, I don't see you. And I just kept on walking. And I got into the locker room, got ready to change, took my dress off, and looked at my dress, and it was stained with something red. And I was mortified. Okay. You know, things come on really light for me. So I didn't know that it happened until I took my dress off. Nobody said anything to me. So, you know, I was so embarrassed that I went to the attendance office. I called my mom. I went home. I was just so humiliated that day. But, you know, I had to return to school. I got over it. And nobody ever said anything. 4, will you or have you joined any clubs or sports teams? All right, when I was in school, I did join some clubs. I was part of a club called Sea Explorers. I think I really enjoyed that the most because we got to go camping and you know, we learned about the ocean and stuff like that. As far as sports events. I never had any kind of interest in being a majorette or a flagette or and I definitely wasn't joining any sports teams because I was so not into sports like that. So that was not my thing. 5, what has been your favorite grade? My favorite grade was 12th grade. Okay, 12th grade because I was close to graduating and I did not have the same course load that I had when I was in 9th through 11th grade. I was able to take I think I took probably 2 to 4 classes that year, and I was let out at 12 o'clock to go and do work study. So I went on off to my little job and had nothing to do with school after that. So I was just so happy and thrilled. So 12th grade definitely was my favorite year. Did you ever have to wear a uniform? No, I never went to a school where I had to wear a uniform. We always wore our regular clothes. And that was kind of tough in that, people always looked at what you were wearing and there was always the in crowd. Well, I don't know. I can't even say that I paid too much attention to the in crowd, but I do remember one time a friend of mine making a crack about how I was dressed, or not really liking how I dressed, and it really hurt my feelings. 7, who was your favorite teacher? Okay, so my favorite teacher was my business teacher, okay, who taught me how to type and taught me computer skills. I think that first off, she was really mean. She was extremely strict and she had red eyes. I hope she doesn't ever see this. But she took a liking to me, and she wanted me to be a debutante for Delta Sigma Theta. But at the time, I didn't have the money to even get involved with that. So it was a toss up between, do I do this debutante ball, or do I go to my prom? I was paying for everything out of my own pocket with money that I made whenever I worked. So I didn't have the money to do both. So I chose my prom over the debutante ball. So I don't know, I'm almost kind of feeling like maybe I should have done the debutante ball over the prom because I wasn't all that satisfied with the prom anyway. 8, my least favorite teacher was my English teacher. Was this my sophomore year? Yeah, it had to be my sophomore year. Okay, so my English teacher my sophomore year, I had him for speech and I had him for English. And I absolutely could not stand that man. I could not tell you to this day what it was about him that I could not stand, but I did not like him. I did not want to have him for 2 class periods, so I ended up joining drama. I had my schedule changed so that I can do drama, and I just had him for that 1 period. And I really didn't learn too much of anything from him. I mean, that whole class was a blur to me, other than there are only 2 things that I remember from that class. The valedictorian would look around at me and ask, well, what did you get on a test? I could not stand him. And if he's ever watching, yes, I could not stand you back in school. You got on my friggin' nerves. You and the salutatorian or whatever, the 2 of you were just sickening as I don't know what, always asking, so what did you get on the test? And what did you get on that paper? And they knew I didn't get that great a grade. Okay, but it was none of their business. But I do remember the grade. I remember the comments that were always made, and I would always wonder, well, what is this and why is that? And I would never ask, and he would never tell. So I really just didn't like him, and I really didn't learn that much from his class. And I'm glad I'm gone, and I'm glad he's gone too. Number 9, what was the worst thing you ever did at school? Probably the worst thing I ever did was skip school one day. It was supposed to be my birthday. and I skipped school with my friend, and she hauled up. We hopped on a bus and went to the most expensive mall in the area. It was her choice to go to this dumb mall. We had no money to be at such an expensive mall where they had things like Louis Vuitton, Gucci, you know, all the name brand stuff. But here we are, high school students roaming around in this mall. Anyhow, I got back to school, and my teacher, one of my teachers, ran into me and said, well, I saw you and one of the other students skipping class, so I'm going to tell your mom. And I was so scared that I thought she was going to call, that I hung around by the phone the whole weekend. At that time, we didn't have cell phones. It was a landline. So I just kind of hung around by the phone to make sure that if she did call, I was going to be the one to answer the phone and pretend I was her, so that my mom wouldn't find out that I skipped school. But after that, I just didn't skip school anymore because it just wasn't even worth it. 10, did you have a car? If so, what were you driving? I did not have a car. I had a friend who ended up with a car because her mom ended up giving it to her. But at that point, I wasn't even talking to her anyway, and it didn't matter. But no, I didn't have a car. I always took the bus everywhere I had to go. Are you still friends with anybody you went to school with? Well, let's see. I have pretty much lost contact with a lot of people that I went to school with. First off, I can't really say that I was the friendliest person in school. I had my one little clique that I did hang out with. I have no idea where they went to. When I was in the 9th grade, I hung out with somebody in the 12th grade. They left. As I went through school, I was always hanging out with a group that was not in my class. So when those students went away, I lost contact with them. And the few students that I did hang out with in my class, one of them, we kind of stopped talking, but we are Facebook friends, okay? So I can't contact her if I did want to, and she can contact me as well, but we, haven't. And my other friend went to Hollywood and became an actress and has been in several movies, several popular movies that I have watched, and it's surreal to watch her on the screen. But I have not stayed in contact with her. 12. Is there anything you would change about your experience with school? I probably would participate a little bit more. I probably would have participated. I think probably, if anything, maybe I would have been like a cheerleader. I don't know that I would have been a majorette, but definitely a cheerleader. Okay, probably a cheerleader or a majorette, one of the two. I think I would have done that. That's probably and I would have gone to more games. I wasn't into going to games. I just really wasn't feeling school when I was in school, so I didn't participate. I didn't really have that school spirit that I should have had, but I think school spirit is definitely something that I would have changed. Okay, so I've come to the end and my battery is nearly dead. So thank you so much for watching my channel. I hope you enjoyed my YouTube tag, my back to school YouTube tag, and I will be coming on with another tag at some point. But guys, once again, if you like this video, give me a thumbs up, and I hope that you do become a part of the Diva Nation by hitting the subscribe button, and definitely you don't want to miss any of my videos moving forward, so definitely hit the notification bell. And thank you so much for watching and supporting my channel, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.